my channel. How's everyone doing? It's just absolutely crazy, isn't it, how insane the world has got over this especially the UK, over the last week. You know, last Monday the kids were still at school. Okay, we knew about the coronavirus, but now it seems, you know, everything is just turned on its head, and you know, it's just crazy that, you know, that we've got people, you know, queuing up for food. You know, there's nothing in the shops, all this craziness. I'm sure things will probably settle down a bit in terms of like supermarkets and things. I think at the moment people like panic buying, and I remember speaking to a lady in the supermarket who was putting things out on the shelves, and she was saying, I think it's, you know, this psychological thing of if there's only a couple of things on the shelf, people just want them, even if they don't need them. Anyway, I'm just going to do a bit of a get ready with me and chat to you. I'm going to be trying out this palette here, which is the Smoke Sessions by Melt. I know it's not a new palette in terms of being you know, out there, but it's new to me. It's new to my collection. It's one I wanted for quite a while, and it was £40 in, I think it was Beauty Bay, and then I had a code to take it down to, I think it was like 30. So I'm really pleased with that, because it's got a lovely colour selection. So as you can see, I've not even opened it yet, but it's got some really lovely colours there. We've got some really nice, it's mainly kind of browns, green palette. I think it's kind of based on this idea of like sort of hemp, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, so I'm just going to get ready. I've got my Jeffree Star mirror, which, you know, I'm going to use to put things on. Yeah, so how is everybody doing? I think I'm going to try some, today I'm actually going to try some of these, the Tarte Double Duty Beauty, for my, it's their Shape Tape, their famous Shape Tape. So I'm just looking at the shade there, and it's in Porcelain Beige, which is pretty much me. I'm quite pleased with this actual shade. I used it yesterday, and I was quite pleased with the shade of it, which is a good match for my skin. I thought, you know, I've heard mixed things about Tarte Shape Tape. Some people have said it's the best product concealer they've ever used. Other people are like, they're not that impressed with it. So I'm just gonna try out. This is just a small one, because I wasn't really sure if I would like it or not. So I just decided to get a small one, just to see, you know, what I thought of it. And I'm quite pleased with it. So normally I'm using at the moment the Jeffree Star one, but I thought I would use this just now. Yeah, so basically I've basically been doing the homeschooling now since last Wednesday. I think I mentioned before, my son had a bit of a cough on Monday, which miraculously disappeared within hours, but he got sent home from school, and we basically had to self-isolate from when the advice came out on the Tuesday about the about how everyone should be self-isolating their families if anyone comes down with a cold. So we've basically had to self-isolate since that point. So yeah, my husband's been working from home. It's, you know, it's not been easy for him, to be fair. I mean, it's difficult. Like, he's having to, we don't actually have a study in our house, a designated study. That's our wish list when, you know, if and when we move, which hopefully we'll move next year. But that'll be one of the wish lists for our house, is to have a study. But he's having to use my son's desk in his room, and I'm having to do all the kind of teaching thing. So it's a bit crazy. Right out, I'm sure you can probably hear my kids shouting at each other in the background. They're now into free time, and now they're yelling at each other about the Xbox. They have me lied on the Xbox. Okay, sorry. So this is the Fenty Beauty. This is a primer, the Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. I do like it. It does give a good finish. But I'm actually going to go over this with a bit of this. This is something the Silk Canvas by Tatcha, which is, I've heard such good things about Tatcha. I've just got a little one as well, a little mini, just to try it out. So the Tatcha, it's like a sort of priming filter. And so many, apparently you're supposed to just take a pea-size amount, and then I'm going to just put a bit there and there, and then on my marionette lines, and then I'm going to see if I can blend it out a bit. So it's actually, you just blend it out with your finger, which, yeah, see how that works out. Yeah, so my husband's just generally, he's working from home in my son's bedroom, a study. I like this, like using it as a study. Like I said, we won't. That's probably a tick for what we want to, if we move house, is to have a study, because it is difficult. It is, you know, it's difficult. But at least downstairs we're kind of using it as a bit of a school at the moment. So now I'm using my Born This Way by Too Faced. Not my favourite, but I'm just trying to use it up at the moment. I do find it a little bit on the pale side for my skin, even though I am absolutely ghost pale normally. But yeah, I'm gonna just look in the mirror while I do this. Yeah, so it has been a bit of a trial trying to get everyone to do what they're supposed to be doing. I've got kids of 3 different ages. So I've got, like, you know, my 11-year-old boy who, he's doing kind of more advanced maths and things. And then I've got my middle one, who's been really good about usually getting on with what he's supposed to be doing. But then I've got my 4-year-old who, to be fair, less attention's on her. She can start doing crazy stuff like climbing up bookshelves and, you know, jumping top my head and things when I'm trying to work with the boys. So it's not been easy by a long shot. Yeah, and in between that, trying to go out and get food and everything, because as you're probably experiencing, the shops are just empty. It's crazy. And it's like, I was saying to my friend, it's such an indication of British priorities. Like, the main things that are gone in the shops are toilet roll, tea bags, beans, and tonic for gin. It's just like British priorities when it comes to things like that. Right, that's that. I'm going to put on some, I'm going to go and see what kind of blush I'm going to put on. Yeah, so I am going to do first, I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Ghost palette, which I do love. It's such a good palette. So I'm going to use the middle one here, which is the Finishing Powder and Diffuse Light. It's such a good one. So when I'm not using my Chantecaille one, I do quite like to use this one, which just gives a really good finish. It is a very expensive palette, I have to say, but it does give a really nice finish to your base, which is good. But yeah, so just generally just trying to keep things stocked up. I think actually watching YouTube videos, I mean, a lot of people were saying, you know, should we still post at this time? You know, it's obviously a serious time. But I do think for a lot of people, it is a bit of a lifesaver, because it's a way of socialising for a lot of people out, you know, when they're being stuck in and isolating themselves. I'm going to see which blush I'm going to use. I think I might use which one should I use? I think I might actually use my Dandelion one today. So a bit of peach. Yeah, you know, it is a way of socialising for people who can't, you can't get out and do things, and see people like you normally would. Even grandparents, you know, I mean, that's where I think the you know, having social media and having like apps and stuff is really good and really useful, because, you know, you're able to communicate with I mean, I know my mum and dad, and they're not a great fan of like using things, like they don't have Facebook or anything like that, but I think they're finding having WhatsApp really, really good, because they're able to still communicate with us via social media, but via that. Okay, right, so next thing, I might put a bit of highlighter on. I tried this yesterday actually as a highlighter, and it was like, oh, hi Tristan. Yeah, so I did try the laser glazer yesterday just to see what it's like, and wow, it had an impact. It was so bright. I'll show you it on my finger. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but it was like, I mean, when people say things like the illuminating from space illuminator. In fact, actually, it's really nice on the eyes. I tried it on the eyes as well. It's really nice. Okay, so I'm going to just use a little bit of the Moon Prism as a bit of a highlight. I do love my Moon Prism highlighter by Lunar Beauty. Just give a little bit of a highlight. This is a really nice brush as well. It's one of those unicorn brushes, and it's yeah, it gives a nice effect. Okay, so now to try out the palette. Now, what am I going to do? Okay, so I'm going to have a look and see if there's any kind of transition-y shades, type shades here. They're all quite strong. That's the only thing with the colours there. I mean, that's the thing with Melt Cosmetics. It is, a lot of them are really, really strong. Let's do some let's do some swatches. So we'll do the greens first. We've got this lovely colour here. And I'm going to I might just use this one here. The thing about Melt as well, it can be quite crumbly, and that is Blue Dream, which is really nice. It says Blue Dream, but it is definitely a green. It's definitely a green. And then we've got this one here. Oh, getting all of my hair. Then I've got Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth here, which is another sort of green there. It's coming across as a little bit patchy, but I reckon it will be probably buildable. And then we've got this other one here, Mean Green, which actually I like because it's more of a kind of danky sort of grungy green. Oh, that's a really nice actually when it hits the skin. It's almost like a duochrome there actually. It's got darker green but with a lighter green kind of shimmery metallic through it. That's really nice. I like that one. And then we've got this one here, Space Queen. Wonder what that one's going to be like. Because that's very matte. It's very kind of a matte one, a matte green. And then we've got the browns here. So let's try here. We've got the Sour Diesel. The names are cool in this actually. And again, oh, it's like a khaki brown green. That's actually really nice. I like that. It's like army trouser green. And then we've got a couple of like the goldy sort of colours. This is Black Widow. I don't know why it's called Black Widow because it's a gold. Oh my god, I love that. I'm all about that. That's amazing. That one there. I don't know if it's coming across well here, but it's got a gold shift to it. It's like a bronze shift to it rather. It's so nice. And then we've got Granddaddy, which is a lovely burnish kind of gold colour. And that's really nice. Some of these colours are gorgeous. I like this palette actually. It's very, very nice. And then the last one, which is Gravity OG, the original Gangster of Gravity. I wonder if my kids will be impressed that I know what OG stands for. And that is just a real OG gold. It's like a really old fashioned. So that's really cool. I like those colours. So anyway, let's see what I'm going to do. Now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to repack that gold. It's all just come out, which is a bit annoying. Okay, so I'm trying to think, what am I going to do? Because the only thing I would say about this palette is there's no light colours that would be complementary just as a base. Now, I think if you were really out there and you were like going out clubbing or something, I think this palette would be great on its own because you could really just slap on these colours. But I think for me, I think it's going to be too strong just to have just this. So hold on a minute, I'm just going to find a couple of transition shades. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the Morphe, and this is the palette de Mousse en Beauty. I don't know if you say that. I didn't do French at school. So this is kind of more neutrals, and they're all kind of, there's a couple of shimmers in there, but I think I might go in with that. I think I might go in with this, first of all, this shade Sachet, which is just really light. Yeah, that's the only problem with I think with Melt. I mean, it's got amazing colours, but I think for me, I mean, I know there's some people that wouldn't use it as a companion palette and they would just use it as their pretty much that's the palette they would use. But I think for me, I need to have a base colour, and I think if you are, you know, a little bit older, not saying old but older, you know, you maybe need some kind of palette, like base for a canvas for your eyeshadow. And I think, you know, or I do at least anyway, that's my taste. So I'm going to darken up a little bit with Headshot. It is a little bit of a darker colour, so I'm just going to go in very light with it, and it's going to take a little bit of blending out, I think. because obviously we do want to get the brown kind of base in there for this look. Because I have to get my other piled up loads of palettes there. They're all gonna topple down. See if I can get another brush and sort of blend it out. Yeah, so I mean, how are you all coping? Are you at home with the kids? Are you working from home? I mean, that must be a nightmare if you're trying to do the kids' education and working from home. Luckily, I'm a teacher, so I've got to put some stuff on Google Classrooms for my own classes. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, I'm not having to, and because of my SFL, the groups that I am in charge of on my own is just a few of them. So it's not been too bad for me. But I must say, like, people who must have to work from home, you know, God bless you. I mean, it must be a nightmare having to do that and do stuff with the kids, but you can only do what you can do, and that's an important thing. I mean, it's hard. It is hard, right? I'm going to go in with, I've really stuffed up that Gravity OG. It's really crumbly. That's the one thing I would say about Melt as well, is that it is a really crumbly formula that you're working with, right? I'm going to go in. I've got a really nice brush here, which is by Sigma, and it's flat definer brush. So I'm going to take the nice Kaki green, the Sour Diesel, which I think that would go nicely with this, and I'm going to try and put it on here in my crease here. Yeah, so it's just trying to get used to this new normal, isn't it? And I think the thing is with kids, it's one of these things at the moment, they're kind of, you know, treating it like an extended holiday off school, you know, in a way that they see it like, oh, you know, but you know, give it a couple of weeks and they're going to be really fed up, because there's nothing to do. Even my husband took the kids out for a walk. There's a hill called Clackaben, which is quite near where we live, and he said even there it was busy. My sister took her little one to a walk up a hill called Benahee, which is near us as well, and she was saying it was just like, you know, you're passing people, there's quite a lot of people on the hill, and it's, you know, this whole idea of social distancing, which is, you know, it's difficult to social distance even if you go out for a walk, so or go out for a run, so it's going to be really hard, you know. I mean, all you know, obviously the normal entertainment stuff that you do with your kids or on a holiday, like swimming and going to the park, all these things are going to be seriously curtailed. It's just unbelievable. So it's just trying to find other things for them to do. You know what I should have done, and I might just try and do it just now. I bought these things and I haven't tried it out yet. Have you seen these? And then what they do is you're supposed to, so get my scissors and open it up. You put them under your eyes. Let's give a try out. And it's if you're working with really crumbly eyeshadows, probably like formulas like this one, and you stick them under your eyes. I've never ever used these before. And then they catch the shadow as they fall. I've never used these before, and I probably wouldn't use these every day for everyday kind of eyeshadows, but let's have a look at them. They're very well packaged, that's what I can say. Yeah, I don't think they'd be good for the environment to use them all the time, but if you're using like a really crumbly formula like this. Okay, let's have a look at that. So you take it, and they're quite thin actually, so you take it and you peel this off, I take it. And I think you peel it and put under your eyes like that, is that right? So, oh my gosh, it looks like one of those eye mask things that you get. You know, when you're doing a facial. Right, let's see if these work. They're a bit big, aren't they? But I suppose it's to stop things going all over. Ta-da! Lovely. Yeah, so where's my mirror gone? What have I done with it? Like, oh. Sorry. Everything's going wrong. No. What have I done with it? Here we go. Right, so yeah, it's just strange because there's all the stuff that you normally do with your kids and stuff like that when you're on holiday that you just aren't getting a chance to do at the moment. So it's just and I do think kids will, it's going to end up, the novelty of being off school is going to hit seriously. And I think the thing is, if you've got money to buy, you know, games and things like that and all these things, it's all very well, but it's, you know, there's probably a lot of families that maybe don't have, you know, their parents aren't teachers, they don't have the expertise in that area. They maybe, you know, a lot of people don't feel, it was a good viral post that went online with this lady who was saying that, you know, like, okay, there's this pressure to do all this work at home with your kids, but she said that she'd struggled at school herself, and she was really, you know, like, she's like, I don't know, you know, doing all these things, I don't feel comfortable. This is coming off a lot darker, and I don't know if it's the light than it is actually in reality. Right, so what I'm going to try and do now is I am going to put on, I might put in a little bit of the, might put on a bit of the Black Widow. I think that'll be quite, actually, yeah, I'll put in a bit of the Black Widow. Let's just go for it. Why not? I'm going to take that brush. I'm going to take a lighter brush because I don't want it to go too crazy. Let's see. Over the lid. It's a really pretty shade, actually. It's a really pretty shade. This is actually quite a dark look. That's the only thing I find with the Melt palettes as well. They're quite dark. What I probably do if I was not just using it to test out this palette, I'd probably use a few of these shades with other shades from other palettes. I'd love to actually, I need to go in online and have a look at other people's looks with this palette, you know, people who have just used this palette, and see what looks they create. Okay, so, and I think I'm going to do a pop of the, where's my little brush? A pop of the gold here. Okay, and this is just the granddaddy one. This is not the OG one. Okay, so I'm going to then put my eyeliner on and see if I can, I'm going to put my Kakai eyeliner on, I think the one that I got, and then I will see the final look. Okay, I'll just pause. Okay, so this is the final look. Yeah, it's like, it's very grungy-ish. It's very much vibes of, you know, like sort of hitting the dance floor, sort of 2000 and sort of 3 sort of kind of look. Yeah, it's yeah, I do like it. I like the gold. I think the gold's really nice, and the bronzy colours. Not sure if I would just wear this palette on its own. Like I said, I think it'd be like a companion palette. Just a finished look up, I've used my Uzu by Feng Fushi in brown black, which I love this eyeliner. I wish you could get it like really easily in the UK. I mean, it's cost me quite a lot to import, and I've got the Kakai one as well, but I tried the Kakai one, but it just wasn't like showing up with this look. I just did mascara, and it's a very neutral lip. I did it in the matte cream glass shine in Delight. Yeah, so that's it. So I hope everyone's okay, and just let me know how you're getting on. I haven't been online for a bit, like a week, because I've just been so busy. I'm going to do a Stitch Fix video now, so stay watching if you're interested in that one, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.